right, I'm on a roll today. Video number 3. This last one is going to be to answer some questions that have been directed to me towards the reasoning behind starting a GoFundMe page. Uh, these questions were sent to me by my daughter Tiffany, so hopefully they will cover everything everyone's looking to answer. And if not, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I'm going to post some links. You can send me messages through Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm available on both. Uh, Her first question was, what are your future goals? One of my future goals is, of course, to finish my degree. I originally thought I was going to get my degree in my 20s. Instead, I had 2 children and a few husbands. And along the way, I discovered that finding what I wanted to do was going to be a lot more challenging than I thought. My next goal after getting my degree is to open a nonprofit organization. I'm looking to turn my journey into an informational database for other people my age, 30 and up, who are looking to go back to school. And if you're looking to go back to school abroad, that's an even bigger plus. So I've already laid the foundation. I'm already getting everything I need together. So this degree is step one towards my own nonprofit. The next question was what inspired me to go back to school? There were several motivating factors. The first and foremost was being passed over for a promotion and being told point blank, we know you can do the job, but because you don't have a degree, we're going to give it to this person over here. This happened repeatedly at more than one employer. And after this last time, it was just sort of the straw that broke the camel's back. And then being on lockdown and after surviving the pandemic, I wanted to live my life differently. The way I was doing it wasn't yielding the results I wanted. And we all know the definition of insanity, to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So I decided I was going to start a new way of life and I was going to live my life differently, on purpose, focused, moving forward for my betterment. My third question here says, what challenges did you face as a single mother? And yes, I am a single mother. I had 2 daughters. At one point, I had 2 kids under 3. They're 17 months apart. Being mother and father to these children was a really big challenge. And when I worked in corporate America, having to tell my children on a regular basis, mommy has to go to work. So at some point, I decided I was going to step away from corporate America, started my own business, which allowed me to work from home. But then my children wanted to play with mommy because mommy was home. So I had to find a way to do good time management and be able to work the business as well as enjoy my life and my children. My parents were still alive then, so I was the main caretaker for them as well, and my plate was full. So for me, being self-employed during that time was the best avenue. Then I went back to corporate America and just wasn't getting what I needed. In the middle of all that, I went through Hurricane Katrina in 2005, and I had 2 teenage daughters and nothing. And we started all over again in a little town called Noonan, Georgia. And my daughters actually went to high school there and graduated from there. So now that we've started again on our version 2, France is my 2.3. We're going to start all over again. And that's what I did. I sold everything I owned, my car, clothes, household goods, you name it, is gone. Put everything in 3 suitcases. Yes, that's right, ladies, you heard me. 3 suitcases. And moved to France. So I've been running the adventure and getting to know the country. My fourth question is, what struggles have you had as a returning student? Well, learning a new way of living. The French are not quite as stressful as the rest of us. So, learning not to be impatient. having to force myself to read books that I did not enjoy. There are very few books from my classes I would recommend to anyone to read, but having to read them and learn them and be able to continue and pass my courses was one of my bigger challenges. Dealing with students who were young enough to be my children, a couple of who could have been my grandchildren, was a challenge. Having teachers younger than me, they found it very difficult to, enjoy having a grown woman who asks questions in their classroom. Then, of course, there was learning French, which is a whole nother language. It was like going back to kindergarten all over again. And I started in 2018, and we've been continuing since I arrived. And I can say really, really well, je ne comprends pas. And that's where I go from. I do my best, and I have learned, as my friend E says, survival French. I know enough French to survive at this point, but I'm working on it. Hopefully, I will get to B2 and take an exam and be able to prove that I have sufficiently learned French in order to move on to the next level. My next question says, how have you overcome difficulties you've encountered in life? Um, Persistence, going back repeatedly, no matter how many times you hear no, going back again and again and again with the determination that I'm going to succeed and nothing and nobody is going to stop me. Having that mindset is essential because people will try really, really hard to keep you from doing what they don't have the courage to do. It's unfortunate, but true. My last question is, who is a role model or inspiration in my life? And I would say the greatest inspiration in my life were my mother and my grandmother. These women were loving, kind, giving, nurturing. They did anything and everything for friends, family, you name it. But one of the things they lacked was a formal education, and it hindered both of them. But it also encouraged them to encourage me to keep going, to not let anything stop me, to keep moving forward, to get up and keep going. And I thank them for that. And because of their influence in my life, I did the same thing for my daughters. And both of my daughters are grown and have their own college degrees. So now I've decided to go back and get mine. Delay is not denial, and I'm going to work from there. So I'm hoping these answers will help you. And if you have more questions, feel free to put them in the comments down below. And I will be reviewing those comments. So any naughty comments will not be going to post. So enjoy and thank you.